It's dead.
Hey, there we are. We're live. I can see it on the.
There we are.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're not. Hey, there's our guy. There's our boy, JD. JD. We're going live. It's the big fat reaction from Milo and Cole. Why? Because our reaction is important.
Super important.
Our feelings and emotions are valid.
Yeah, of course they are.
It's been a while since we've done a live stream. Apologize. It's a long story, but we don't want to talk over the big guy.
No.
But we will. We'll all catch up here very soon. We'll tell you what we've been up to.
Yeah.
Cole, it's good to have you back in studio. Finally got Cole nailed down. This is why we haven't been live, is because Cole's just too busy.
Me, I'm too busy. Says the guy who's traveling all over the United States.
I'm
right
just
now.
kidding, man. We both flaked out on each other. Like
Yeah.
we're like all of a sudden we're like, I'm scheduling, then he's scheduling, and then we're all like, everything's been hectic.
And then people are been sick.
Oh
like
my gosh.
Crazy sickness
Dude, I
going
got
around the
sick.
area.
That went on forever.
Yeah.
How'd your flu go?
Like 12 hours.
Really?
14 hours and I was over it. Yeah.
Man, that's because you're strong and stuff.
No puking, anything like that. Just miserably
Man.
bad stomach ache and headache.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Are we actually in a live stream?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
We're live streaming from Big Fat Studios here in downtown Columbus, Montana. What do we call it? Yeah, the Greater Uncle Sam's Complex. I don't know. In the greater metro area here at the Uncle Sam's Complex. And we're waiting for the big guy. If you say the big guy, it makes me think of Hunter Biden's laptop, though. You right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
The big guy. We need
Referring
to think of a different nickname.
the Don.
The Don.
He's already got enough nicknames.
Yeah.
We'll call him the Don. We'll see what he has to say. It's a joint address. What do you think he's going to say tonight?
He's going to talk about Ukraine.
I can't wait.
I can't either. He's going to talk about the border.
Okay. Like it.
He's going to talk about, I'm sure he's going to talk about the appointments that have been made so far.
Yeah.
And Doge, fraud, waste, and abuse. What else? So I was watching a little bit of stuff between the gym and coming over here, and they were talking about, like, he's even told people that get ready for some surprises. So.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't either. I love when they like zoom in like on Pelosi or some of those, and their facial expressions just crack me up, man.
Oh, yeah.
Bernie Sanders.
They are not having a good time.
No, they're not.
2025 has been a dumpster fire for them as well.
Yeah. So I am excited to see how, some of their reactions, just to see. And then after this is all fun and over, getting on the TikTok and X and just seeing.
Oh, man, I got to tell you, I'm addicted to X lately. I am on there like every day. You just get on there in the morning and all of a sudden you're just like, what has already happened?
Yeah.
And it's news story after news story. I got my mom on there the other day. She's 83 years old. She's like, where are you getting that from? Like, oh, X. It was when they had the big argument in the Oval Office.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm on X. She's like, why am I not on there? She's like,
wasn't that, I mean, if you ever want to see propaganda, just watch that. Like, the mainstream and the left-leaning media only played like the last 6 minutes of that entire interaction between Zelensky and Trump and Vance. But if you watch the entire interaction, the entire meeting that they, filmed, Trump was the adult in the room.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
He let Zelensky go on and on and on. And then I did see, and this is kind of personal with me, but I think Vance's view in foreign affairs and Trump's view of foreign affairs are different.
Really?
And because I think there was a couple of things in there that Vance kind of did to push Trump's buttons on purpose to get Trump fired up. And then we had this whole interaction.
I don't think I saw the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing.
I didn't see the whole thing. Yeah. I saw different versions. I saw clips of this and that. I did see stuff from earlier, little short clips.
Yeah. But if you watch the entire thing, you can see where, I mean, Trump was super like presidential.
Really?
During the whole thing. And then those last little bit where they blew up at each other, that's the stuff that makes the headlines. But
well, the thing about it is then you find out that, you know, that a bunch of people met with Zelensky beforehand
yeah,
and said, "We're not doing peace, man. We got your back."
yeah, Murphy, was it Murphy or something like that? The senator from Vermont, or one of the representatives from Vermont, that was getting
Yeah.
his ear before things.
I'm
And
not sure who all was in it. Was Lindsey Graham in there too? I hope he wasn't.
I don't think so.
Man, that Lindsey Graham rubs me raw.
Does he?
Yeah, because I think he's like one way in front of Trump, and then I think he's a little slimy.
Kind of like
Yeah, it's
maybe
not
like
that I think.
Crenshaw. I think Crenshaw's like that. I used to really
Oh,
like him.
I did too years ago.
Yeah,
Now I don't.
yeah.
Dude's crazy.
Him and Tucker Carlson do not like
I
each
saw
other.
that, man. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
So, but I mean, I was listening to Trump's, I
Well,
was doing some reading on it, and he's making a lot of sense. Like, people are like, well, we just want the minerals. We just want the rare earth minerals or whatever. But it makes sense, because if we are in there and we have a vested interest economically between us and Ukraine, Putin's not going to invade, because he knows that the wrath of the United States is going to come down on him, because there's all these US citizens that are in there,
yeah,
helping with
exactly.
doing the mining
That's your
stuff.
security.
Yeah.
That's your security.
Yeah.
And so I think he's oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and let's bring up some volume. Look at Uh-oh. No. No. Can you reload that?
We'll get it figured out.
Technical difficulties already.
I know. Oh, well. It happens.
We haven't been in the studio here in
3 weeks? No,
oh
longer than
man, it's
that.
like been a month and a half.
It was before the election.
Yeah.
Yes,
before
it was.
inauguration.
Or before inauguration. Yes, it was. That is insane, isn't it?
That is crazy.
I know. And it's not like we didn't try.
Yeah, we did. We tried.
We did.
It's been a busy year. Holy mackerel. That's not going to do.
I know. We're going to have to figure something out. So.
Okay, I'm figuring. I am figuring. Figuring.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
You turned it all the way down.
You are on. What I need is input, and we run it through the mixer.
I mean, I could do like the play-by-play. Trump is walking down the aisle, shaking hands with the people that support him. Yeah. And he is still shaking hands. People are clapping and applauding him on one side of the aisle and giving him mean mugs on the other side of the aisle. So, yeah. This is Samsung. This is the brand new S25 Ultra. I just got it Saturday. So.
I'll just show it on stream. No audio though.
Okay.
Well, that way they can see it. Right, but we got to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, can we plug into that and bring up the C-SPAN, the video on there?
On here?
Yep.
We might be able to.
Yeah, if you'll bring it up on there, I might be able to just plug that into this.
Mhm.
Use that as an input number 3. And then all we do is we get rid of this and we run it through this. Right here, cam number 3.
Where am I going here?
And I just need an HDMI cord to go from cam 3 into this phone. Any one of these will do. This one right here.
So you want me to go to the C-SPAN?
Yes.
Okay. So then I won't be able to see our live feed. But that's okay.
Yeah, here. You'll be able to get on
Okay.
this.
All right. Come on. What the heck? I don't pay for YouTube Premium, so I get ads right now.
Ooh, that's no go.
I know. There we are.
Okay.
So this one.
How do you get it to go full screen?
I don't know. Like I said, I just got that TV. Or that TV. I just got that phone 2 days ago. So
Really nice.
I don't even have a case for it yet, so do not drop it.
Okay, not dropping.
Oh, he's up to the podium.
Dude. How do I unlock? It went to sleep.
Just tap the screen and hit the 0 4 times. Got it?
I have to pull down or pull shut.
No, let's see. So just tap the screen a couple times. Oh. Push scroll up. There you go.
I was trying to just turn it down.
On the side.
I'm not getting any input on 3.
I hear it now.
You can hear it through there?
Maybe. Maybe it's picking it up through your mic.
No, I have his mic shut off.
I hear it from somewhere.
I think it's just the speaker.
Oh. Oh, such technical difficulties all of a sudden.
What do you need? I need a gap here or something.
I think the tablet just died.
This one. That goes to mine screen? Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson.
Oh, man.
Vice
No, I
President
still need that
Vance,
adapter there.
the First Lady of the United States.
Oh, I can't think.
Interesting.
Swift and unrelenting action. To
Your keyboard still works.
citizens, America is back.
What? I'm missing this. This might be a crappy HDMI cord too. Do you need this HDMI capture card?
6 weeks ago,
What is
I
that?
stood beneath the dome of this Capitol
This
and proclaimed
No.
the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift
another
and
HDMI cord.
unrelenting action.
I had one right here.
Ushering in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years, 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Maybe I had to plug you in the wrong spot.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence. than ever.
Yep, there.
I hear it.
The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the
Can you see
verge
it?
of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed, and perhaps
I just have to turn off
will
auto
never
switching
witness again. Never
because
been
it's going to
anything
switch
like
to you guys when you guys talk. But I could switch it manually.
The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate
Here's a way
like
to do a
has
picture in
not been
picture.
seen in many
We'll hide
decades.
this.
We won
Is it
all
going?
7
Yeah.
swing states.
It's quiet,
giving
though.
us
Can you
an
turn his phone
electoral
up?
college victory of 312
It's
votes.
I could turn it up on here too.
No, right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
Is that louder?
No. I can turn it up right here too.
We won the popular vote by big
You can hear it, but it's
numbers
quiet.
and won
I can hear it, yeah.
Super quiet though.
But you can't hear.
Is his phone all the way up?
I don't know how you turn the phone up. There's no volume on it.
Yeah, there is. It's on the side.
Is it the big
It's
one?
the big one.
Just
Turn it.
press the top of the big one.
Yep.
The other one, yeah.
There you
There
go.
you go. Oh, yep.
So we're not. So is it the same as the TV now?
It's a little. The TV's a little.
and won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525. On a map that
All right.
is almost
No way.
completely red or Republican.
It wouldn't be a big fat live without some kind of.
Problems.
Yeah, that's okay.
Man.
Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing.
Can we get it up any louder?
I'm turning.
27-point swing,
Oh, no.
the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Boy, they're being ugly in there.
Dude, that's.
To uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruption. That's your warning.
Who is that doing that?
I'm not sure.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Some dude with a cane. I don't know who it is.
Is he a congressman?
He's got. I don't know. Dude, they can't even act like adults. These are the people that we vote on to represent us as citizens of the United States.
Yeah.
And they're acting like somebody green.
Oh my gosh. Hey, our guy Shelby. Hey Shelby, good evening.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for joining us.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order.
Chris Mater.
Hey, Chris.
There's our guy.
Welcome in.
Sorry, we had some technical difficulties, but right, we wouldn't be us without technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are they really singing that like we're at a high school basketball game?
Yes, they are.
Holy mackerel.
This is our government at work. Holy.
Oh
crap,
my
dude.
gosh. The only thing that makes me feel any better is when I watch Canada's government try to work. They're just as bad or worse.
Members are
Yeah.
directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Here we go. The old standing up every like so little bit.
I know.
One side.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to watch that. It's
I know, 'cause
throwing me off.
It's me too. This one is over here too.
That the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful.
Very true.
In the
Very true,
history of our
Shasta.
nation.
Very, very true. Everybody's gotten so self-entitled.
Yeah. Well, up until a couple weeks ago, these guys were getting elected in here to become millionaires.
Oh, did that get you locked out?
Yeah.
I can fix that for you.
George Washington. How about that?
Awesome.
How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within
Perfect.
hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border.
Yeah, he
And I
did.
deployed the U.S. military and border patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
It's like a ghost town down there.
Yeah.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison,
Much
under
easier.
Joe Biden, the worst president in American history,
Oh,
hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums,
I think you can go
were
picture in
released
picture.
into our country. Who
And
would
then
want
choose.
to do that?
Yeah, hit like number.
This is my
4.
fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them
Boom, there we are. We have
Yep.
somebody there.
smile or
And I
applaud.
think then if
Nothing
you
I
hit
can
like, if you hit his
I can
camera,
find a cure
let me see what
to
happens.
The most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out
There we go.
entire
and we're a little
nations,
choppy.
or announce the
Our
answers
signal.
to the greatest
I don't know why.
economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what.
Ah, he's calling them out.
times I
Straight
think.
up, man.
It's very sad.
It's like kind of crazy
and it just shouldn't be this way.
the things that they've been voting against. You
Yeah.
know? Like these are issues that should be, both sides should be for
Yeah.
these issues.
Yeah, like how many Democrats voted no to for the transgender thing
All.
to keep
All of them.
boys out of? Yeah. I mean, that's
So
common
Democrats
sense.
sitting
Oh my
before
gosh.
me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
There he is.
Yeah.
Bearded Viking.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Now I know, because when I see like his real name in there, it always
Yeah.
throws me off, or you know, and I'm like, wait, who's that? And then I'm like, oh, that's JT.
Yeah. And he changed it to Bearded Viking.
Yeah. Now I know who he is. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves. And we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on
Let's get to
all
the
new
surprises.
federal
I know, right?
regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Oh, that's another thing that's starting to that was irritating me is the people going nuts over the National Park Service losing people. We'll talk about it here in a little bit.
Withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
Shelby, you're correct. Not getting his speech isn't getting torn up tonight.
And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council.
Dude, let's get out of NATO while we're at it.
We should. Yeah.
We just keep carrying all these guys.
Biden's
Yeah.
environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe,
Hey,
totally unaffordable.
there's my wife.
And
Yeah, my wife's in here
we
too,
ended
in the chat.
Last
Look at us go.
administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic.
And then Elon's like,
destruction.
hey, those are my cars, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated.
That is awesome.
That is great.
Let's clean them out.
Yeah, I did see where the Honda Civic production plant is moving from Mexico to Indiana today.
Oh, that's
So they're going to start
crazy.
making the Civics back in the U.S.
Everybody was just, nope. Everybody was all like, all of our prices are going to skyrocket. And what's happening is exactly what he said was going to happen. They're going to bring manufacturing here.
Yeah, they are.
We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work. in
Yes,
person or
thank you. How about all the rest of us who have to show up for work?
Every day. How about those of us that never had to not show up to work?
Yeah, right.
You know?
And hey, when all the oil workers got laid off on day one
Yeah.
of Biden's administration, they weren't crying for those people.
No, they weren't.
Prosecute his political opponent like me. How did that work out?
Bearded Viking. Remote work, it's my jam. Hey, but you do work.
Yeah.
You show up.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back.
Oh, look at their
free
cute little signs.
speech
I know.
In America, it's back.
Yeah. They can hold up their little circle signs that say false. God, there's like a bunch of freaking toddlers, man.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Like, that's a no-brainer.
I know.
Why didn't that happen in 1770,
Well,
whatever?
It did. They voted, I think it was one vote, was either U.S. or German.
What?
I read something about it at one time, yeah.
The Gulf of America.
Gulf of America. Yeah. Hey, it makes sense. It's all the Americas. North America, South America.
Central America.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Gulf of America. Come
does.
on. It's not about the USA.
I renamed
Well, kind of.
for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful laugh.
Chris Mader.
Yeah. He said that because I'm a huge hockey fan.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies.
Oh, all that
across
was
the entire
yeah, don't get me
federal
started on that.
government And indeed the private sector and our military.
Thank you. Like, let's all just focus on being Americans.
And our country will be woke no longer.
Save Medicaid.
Oh, who did he just point at?
I don't
We
know.
believe that whether you are a doctor,
Ilhan
accountant,
Omar.
lawyer, or an
Yeah.
She was all pissed.
traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender.
Thank you.
Very important.
Just got on a flight the other day, and I'm like, man, like the way they've been flipping over and crashing
Right.
everywhere
should
makes you
be
think twice
hired
lately.
Based on merit. And the Supreme Court,
Tiago,
in a
that's
brave and very
Bomdi-
powerful
well, it's not
decision,
Bomdia.
has allowed us
What's
to
good
do
evening,
so.
Tiago?
Thank you.
That's-
Thank you very much.
Buenos noches.
No,
Good evening.
they do
Have removed
Portuguese in Brazil.
the
Oh, that's
of
right.
critical race
Yeah.
theory from our public
They used to
schools.
always say bom dia,
They signed an
dia,
order making
which
it
is
the
good morning, I guess. He taught.
official policy
the only
of
thing I know.
United States
Tiago taught me
government that there are only two genders,
There you go.
male and female.
Boanorti.
Oh, man. Boa.
Good luck
No,
with that one.
I don't know how to say that one, man.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you. It's
That's so basic.
yeah,
So basic.
I know.
Why is that? Tiago, I'm embarrassed about what has been going on up here, man.
3 years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete.
There's
one of
what's her
the
name,
best, preparing
right
for
next to,
advanced college
Matt Walsh.
sports.
Is it Riley Gaines?
But when
Yeah.
her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side
Holy
and
mackerel.
ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Good.
Yeah,
That
about
makes-
time.
Yes. Makes total sense to
To
me.
watch all the other countries start to follow.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they'll be like strong enough to be like, yeah, why are we going along with this nonsense?
Right. And if you're a guy and you can't hack it in guy sports, train harder.
Learn to code.
Yeah. Or train harder, or guess what? Maybe athletics isn't your thing. It's just simple common sense
If you
shit,
really
man.
want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman.
Oh my
For a new
gosh.
record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Yeah, but people call him like anti-woman, you know.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I know. It's just common sense, man.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world.
There you go.
Common
Sweep in the
sense has
world.
become a common theme, and we will never
Can you
go
put
back. Never.
that up there on that
happen.
for him?
I've got
Give him my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Among
see.
my very
So-
highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions
When did
and
we-
millions of Americans. They've never
When's
had
he-
anything like it.
When's he
We
going to talk
suffered
about drill,
the
baby,
worst
drill?
inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even
Guess that takes
in the
time.
history
It does.
of our country. They're not sure.
I know he wants to
As
start the
president,
pipeline
I'm
back up
fighting every
again.
day to reverse this
That'd be
damage
great.
and
Yeah.
I'm
make
ready.
America affordable again.
I'm ready for cheap gas.
I am too. Maybe hopefully by the 28th of March, because we're going on a trip. So we'd use cheap
I'm
gas.
sure it'll come around
Cheap
by
fuel,
then.
Maybe.
I haven't been too wrapped up on
Nobody
eggs because our
especially
chicken's
let
been
the
going
price
crazy.
of
What?
eggs get out of
I haven't had a
control.
chicken lay an egg for like 3 months.
The egg
Oh.
price is out of control, and we're working hard.
When it
to
got
get
super
back
cold, they slowed down.
down. Secretary,
But
do
we're
a
still
good
getting
job
eggs.
on that.
No way,
You
dude. I haven't had an
inherited
egg for
a
3
total
months.
mess
We've had to
from the
buy
previous
freaking eggs
administration. Do a good
for the
job.
first time in 2 years, and it's
Listen.
irritating.
I know somebody. I'll
Yeah.
talk to April.
Okay.
See if we can get you some eggs.
That would be awesome. My kids are like, these are the grossest
A
eggs.
major focus of our fight
'Cause
to
they're from a
defeat
store.
inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%,
You can share.
slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
Let's get them fired up.
Yeah.
Eggs.
The eggs.
Who would have thought eggs would have been like
Frankly, we've
$1 a
never
piece?
Or
Or more.
seen
Or more.
anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency.
So far, his speech is good.
As you've heard me say many
Yeah, 'cause he's just
times,
rattling off
more
what's
like
happened in the
foothold
last
under our feet than any
6 weeks.
nation on earth,
Has it been 6 weeks?
and by
Yeah.
far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill Baby.
There you
Drill.
go.
There it is.
So they're going to open up the fields back in North Dakota, huh?
I hope.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
I'm all for it.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska,
There you go.
among the largest
Chris.
in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week,
When we hand off the eggs, we'll do it in a shady parking lot.
We should.
Expand
We'll film the whole thing.
of
For Shelby.
critical
All right.
minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
What are you doing to your chickens that I'm not? That you're getting them to lay eggs?
I don't do
all
it. I got to be honest. I don't do a darn thing.
Yeah.
April is out there
Will not only
like
be reducing the
coddling
cost of
them.
energy,
Oh.
but will be
I don't know.
ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
Nice. I mean, I've even been giving our chickens like steak for added protein.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're not laying eggs.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Doge.
Yes.
Perhaps you
So
heard
funny. Oh, there. Hey, look at him. There he is.
Oh, he dressed up tonight. Wore a suit.
Yeah,
and
he
everything.
did. Yeah, you know
Look,
why?
there you go.
I bet you he dressed up tonight because of all the crap Zelensky got for not wearing a suit.
Oh, yeah.
And then people were like, Elon never wears a suit. I missed that. Look at him. He's for. Oh, I think I have seen him. What's up? He's looking sharp.
He is.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe.
Ha! Not all the ones that should be going to prison.
Right.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified.
Oh, this is going to be great.
$22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples.
It's
and
the best.
Colombian empowerment.
It's like having a stand-up
Central
comedian up there
America.
addressing
$60
Congress.
million.
He's got
Well,
good delivery.
$1 million
He's
for
not
making
lying.
white
He's
not,
you know.
transgender.
And that's why some of the best comedy is the best
This is
is because
real.
it's like rings of some truth.
Yeah.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million
I was waiting for the comment.
the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you
Called her
a
out.
$3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
Wow. 59 million.
He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia.
Yeah, they're not going to monitor
$42
themselves,
million
Chris.
for
Yeah.
social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. I know what we're doing. We use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
It's incredible what they're finding.
I know.
Man, did you listen to him on Rogan?
I haven't listened to it yet.
I'm not all the way through it yet, but
Right.
he was going through it, also talking about some of the stuff that they're finding and just how if average companies were doing this, they'd all be in
And
prison.
reduce
Yeah.
our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's just
3.9 million
crazy.
people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149.
Elon was saying it's
And
like
money
if
is being
you
paid to many
just
of them.
forget that you have a gym membership, that you
we're
just keep paying
searching
and
for
paying
people.
and paying.
Yeah.
And like that, he says that's what they've done in the government all over the place.
Good luck.
They just
Yeah.
they
You're
set up a
gonna find
one-time payment
that a lot of
thing and
money
get it
is
started,
paid
and then
out
it just
to
keeps paying,
people
and there's like nobody
because it just keeps getting
there doing
paid
anything
and
with it.
paid,
Where's
and
that money
nobody
going?
does, and it
Well,
really
I'm sure it's going
hurts
somewhere, but
Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
oh, that we have a healthier country than I thought.
That was awesome.
That was
a good one. Yeah, Chris, who are these checks being cashed by?
oh my gosh. And they have no way of tracking them because the checks that went out, there's no tracking number, no tracking code.
To
It's
finish,
there's no record.
1,039 people
Yeah.
between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249. And one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years. More than 100 years older than our country.
Social Security wasn't even around. How does that work?
But we're going to find out
You
where
know.
that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments, and grocery prices,
Right,
protect
Shelby?
our seniors,
Yeah,
and put
100%.
more money in the pockets of American families.
Oh, Tiago's like, meanwhile, the money here in Brazil is $1 equals 5.88 reals.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you know Tiago
Today,
from the
interest
Big Fat
rates.
Days?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah. He used to watch our live streams. Never met him, and you
And
just
in
watch the
the
live streams for
Near
like
future, I want to do what has
I
not
mean,
been done.
probably
24 years.
2016, 17.
Balance the
Cool.
federal
He found us.
budget. We're gonna
Nice.
balance it.
I'm glad he's watching tonight.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know. It took me a second. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's Tiago. What did he say right there? I just missed that. Sorry.
We were reminiscing about the
I know.
Big Fat
We were,
Lunchbox Days.
yeah, right.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes
a
on
genius
sale
idea.
very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated.
Better.
But better.
And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them.
Such a contrast. On one side of the room has like just the mean mug look on their face, and then the other side right now, everybody just looks ecstatic.
Yeah.
Not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy.
Hey, there's Zachary Harrell in there.
That was me. I forgot I was on his phone. I thought it was mine. I was going to start a comment.
That you've allowed to destroy our country. We will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
Good. It makes sense to me.
Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
Bam, a big old yellow, big fat podcast in the chat section.
It worked, kind of.
Shelby says hi.
Any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
How can they be opposed to that?
I don't know.
Because it all supports the big scam.
Yeah. Some of these Democrats got to be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, really deep inside.
100%.
You know.
And I'm sure there's quite a few Republicans who are also like,
They're in there, they're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that.
Oh my gosh.
This group is going to be voting for the tax.
They're little dumb little signs.
I know.
Oh my gosh. We still have a choppy feed.
Little bit.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security.
Who can be opposed to that?
For our great seniors.
The entire his right side of the aisle.
They're going to be, yeah. But
apparently,
like, realistically, come on, if you represent the working people.
Right.
What the heck?
I know.
Start by paying your taxes. He released his taxes.
Want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
That's a good move.
It is a good move.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all
He's so
three, the top people, and
he
they're
just
so
you
excited.
can tell he
In
just feels
fact,
free that he doesn't have to
already
run for
numerous car
re-election.
companies
He can
have
just go
announced
for it.
that
Yep.
They will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing
See?
a new plant in Indiana.
Wow.
One of the largest anywhere in the world.
I mean, that's what Elon Musk had to do in China.
Yeah.
He couldn't import into China. China doesn't allow anybody in. So he's like, okay, we'll build them here.
This has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country.
What was the date?
November 5th,
Oh, yeah.
election, the morning
In
after.
addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that.
There's no American cars in South
we
Korea.
give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea.
Very
But
few.
That's what happens. This is happening by
I saw cars,
friend
so
and
many cars
foe.
over there. I didn't even know what the
This
makes
system
were.
is not
Yeah.
fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks.
Nice.
The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
About the AI stuff?
Apple
Well,
announced
yeah, especially doing it with
Oracle.
yeah, and OpenAI
And Open.
or
called me. He said,
what's
"I
his
cannot
name?
spend it fast
Scott
enough. It's
or
going to be much higher
Almond
than that,
or-
I believe.
I can't
And be
remember.
building their plants
the guy
here
who's
instead of
running
in China."
OpenAI.
Yeah.
And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the
I did
biggest
see
in the
this.
world,
Yeah.
most
The
powerful in the
semiconductor.
world, has a tremendous amount, 97%
Yep.
of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
That's gonna be a good one.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible.
I saw that he was
horrible thing.
saying that we're going to
collecting
take
billions
over
of
chip
dollars,
production.
and it doesn't
Isn't that what
mean
he was
a
getting
thing.
at right
They
there?
take our money and they don't
Yeah,
spend
that
it.
semiconductor company out of
All that
Taiwan
meant
is gonna
to
build a
them,
plant
we're
here in
giving
the
them
US.
Yeah,
no
okay.
money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
He stands up.
Yeah.
His
The
little
new trade
points.
policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling
Man, we're super
into our
choppy.
home market, the
I know.
USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and
I disconnected
our
my
farmers
phone,
starting on April 2nd.
so I can't see the chat. You'll have to let me know if somebody says something.
Okay.
I thought maybe that'll help. One less thing being
China,
connected.
$50 billion of purchases. And I said, just bear with me. And they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again. And this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases. And we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it. And it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen. And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama. Jeff Denard has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great.
Wow. That's cool.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us, very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to
years ago,
recognize another person who has devoted herself
the
to
present
fostering
administration would
community.
never,
She worked so hard
everybody
on it.
abided by this
Very
unspoken
loving
rule
person.
of like,
How
we don't trash talk
magnificent
the last
First
administration.
Lady of the
Yeah.
United
They never
States.
did really by name. I don't remember them doing that growing up. Like Reagan didn't sit there and trash Carter. And then, like, I don't even think Bill Clinton trashed George W. or George H.W.
I don't remember. I can't remember. I mean, I really didn't start
Well, his
watching
work has
until
yielded incredible
Obama
results, helping
and
prepare our
George
nation's
Jr.
So you're
future leaders as
calling
they
me old.
enter
no,
the
no. I
workforce.
just really didn't have an interest in
Our First
politics
Lady
then.
is
All
joined
right.
by two impressive
You are
young
older than
women.
me, though.
Very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much.
Was that a real photo of Kristi Noem? Or, I mean, a real, like, it looked like, I mean, not a real photo.
Thank you to John
Is that real
Thune
footage?
and
It
the
looked
Senate
like a fake cardboard cutout
Great job.
face.
to criminalize
I don't
the
know.
publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
Good. It's incredible. Like, can't go to, I know, you just continue speaking the obvious, but you can't just go walk into other countries.
No, you can't.
I watch sailing channels all the time, and you got to go check into countries, and they go come on your boat and everything. You go through. You can't just show up and just be like, come in, come in from anywhere.
Yeah.
They enforce it as
Yeah,
they
I know.
should. Everybody does.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people go down to Mexico for vacations and stuff. I mean,
And then when they overstay,
yeah.
Mexico is like, they're out.
When I went to
They
Nepal,
kicked them out
when I
quick.
went to Nepal, they made it apparent I had a 29-day visa or whatever, and they're like, you don't stay an extra day. You make sure you're gone by the 29th day.
Admired
So-
by everybody.
In
Went
French
out for a
Polynesia,
jog on the campus of the University of Georgia.
when you check in,
That morning,
you have to
Lincoln
have
was
a plane
viciously
ticket
attacked, assaulted, beaten,
booked
brutalized,
For your
and
departure?
for your departure.
horrifically
Really?
murdered.
You have to show them that you
Lincoln
already have
was
paid for your
stolen
departure.
from us
Wow.
by a savage
Whether you're
illegal
flying
alien
out or not,
gang member
you buy a
was
refundable
arrested while
ticket if you're on a
trespassing
sailboat.
across
When you check
Biden's
into the country, you have to
open
buy a
southern
plane ticket
border,
to show them that you have
and
a way
then
to
sent
fly
us
out of
into
there.
the United
Dang.
States
And then
under the
then you get it
hard-work
refunded later.
policies of
Yeah.
that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel.
Yeah, Shasta said that's the same
With
for
us
China
this
and
evening are
Thailand too.
Lincoln's beloved mother, Allison,
Wow.
and her sister, Lauren.
I know when Shasta went to China, she had to fill out paperwork months in advance just to go over there for her job.
Wow.
So it wasn't easy peasy.
Last year, I told Lakin's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why
Shasta
the
had to
very
have somebody
first
from
bill
China
I
write a
signed into
letter
law as
inviting her to come
your 47th
into the country.
president
Wow.
mandates
Yeah,
the
I do remember
detention
that. She was
of
telling
all
me about that the
dangerous
other day.
criminal aliens who threaten public safety.
That's
Very
interesting.
strong, powerful act.
Like, if the Democrats aren't clapping and happy about the Lake and Riley thing, then
None of them voted for it.
It's called
just-
the
it's an-
Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will
It's
never,
incredible.
ever forget
I didn't
our
see the numbers
beautiful
on who didn't vote for it, but was it pretty much
Laken-Riley.
partisan vote?
Yeah.
For real?
Oh, 100%.
How do you even vote for these people?
It's become literally the Trump derangement syndrome means they will not vote for anything that side comes up with,
Thank you very much.
except for like Fetterman.
Since taking office, my administration has.
They haven't
launched
shown him
the
yet. I wonder if he's in his
sweeping
Carhartt hoodie
border
and shorts.
Immigration crackdown in American
It's called
history.
spite.
Yeah.
I
And
see
we
that.
quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Everybody's just spiteful. It's incredible.
I mean, I just don't understand it. It's like, what if Lake and Riley was a Democratic senator's daughter that got killed by an illegal alien rapist?
But it turned
Yeah, I don't
out
even
that
know.
all
I
we
can't even.
really needed
I can't even fathom
was a
how
new
they would
president.
react. It's hard to even because it's not about common sense anymore.
No.
I have no clue what they would do or say.
No. It just doesn't compute in my head that way. Yeah.
Thank
My gosh, the blue hair
Joe
lady.
Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio.
My sister works at a school
under
in
the
St.
weight
George,
of the
Utah.
migrant occupation
And I went there and
corruption
surprised
like
her.
nobody's ever seen
And
before. Beautiful towns
I
destroyed.
hadn't been to her school or
Now,
workplace,
just as I
whatever. Anyway,
promised in
ever.
my
I went in
inaugural
there and I'm
address,
talking to her, and
we are achieving the
most of the
great
kids in her
liberation
class
of America.
couldn't speak English. She actually works in the library, and then so she has different classes come through at different times.
Mhm.
And she said that most of the kids there now don't speak English.
Wow.
And they're from all over, many different kinds of countries. They're not just
I have gotten
Hispanic.
to
They're not
know
just speaking Spanish.
Alexis
They're from all
Mangari
all over the
from
place.
Houston.
It's incredible.
Wonderful woman.
And this is in
Last
St.
year,
George,
St. George,
Alexis's
Utah.
12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into
I hate
America
these stories.
by the
I
last
do too.
administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter. And earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful,
But the left will have you
34,000
believe
acre
that Trump
sanctuary for
doesn't
all
like any of
God's
this stuff.
creatures
Yeah,
on the edge of
that-
the
it's
Gulf of America.
it's crazy.
Alexis, moments
And
ago,
it's-
I formally renamed that refuge
Sweet.
in loving memory of your
Oh,
beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President,
yeah,
if
and
you
they will
would,
just paint the
may I
opposite
have
picture
the
of
order?
everything. It's just crazy.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It is. It's so sad that, I mean, yeah, these things shouldn't have happened.
No.
Like this lady shouldn't have been up there and
Thank you very much.
having to sign
All
things and bring this
three
attention because it
savages
shouldn't have
charged with
happened.
Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang they say in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
It's about time. It's good.
It is.
It needs to happen. It needed to happen years ago.
Tom Holman looks all business.
Mm-hmm.
They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Oh, I was wondering who that guy was sitting next to her.
Now, what has he been on? An hour so far or more?
Yeah. About an hour.
I think it's a good speech so far.
So far, yeah.
There's nothing I have heartburn about.
No,
I mean,
I'm waiting for the secrets.
The open AI
In
stuff.
January, Roberto
Like I said, I'm with you on
and
that
another
one.
agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much.
Yeah, it looked like there was a couple of Democrats clapping there.
And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
That one's going to be interesting to see, like how active they are about. I don't know.
Like
Boots on the ground over there.
Covert ops into Mexico.
Yeah.
It could
Because
happen.
of our tariff,
I think it's already happening,
being
yeah,
imposed
but-
on them. Think of this.
I don't know.
Handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy.
Who handed him over?
First time ever.
Mexico.
Oh, she's not cardboard.
But we
She was just
need
holding really
Mexico
still, I
and
think,
Canada.
last time I saw her.
Yeah.
To do much more than they've done. And
She's
they
pretty
have to
badass.
Stop the
Yeah.
fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you. I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
Is that Thune right there?
Yeah.
As we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns.
Yay. Something you're personally a fan
In
of,
recent
right?
years,
Yeah.
Our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing
That was
law enforcement
funny.
against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively
Man,
to
he's
restore
laying
fair,
it down.
equal, and impartial
That little
justice
point.
under the constitutional rule of law,
Man.
starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. Did you see
Pam
Dan
Bondi,
Bongino is going to be the deputy
Yes.
director?
Yeah,
good
I
luck.
think that's great.
it is.
Gonna do a
I think
great
that's
job.
great.
No, it is.
Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
There are people who are already being critical of saying, like, why isn't Cash doing this? Or why isn't, so-and-so doing this? And Elon was saying that to Rogan. He's like, imagine, like, you've just
Already
taken
started
over
very
like
strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very
like a
proud of
pirate
them.
ship.
Yeah.
And all
We're
the
also
crew is
once
your
again
enemy.
giving our police
And, like,
officers the support, protection,
You got to
and
get these
respect
guys to do what
they
you
so
say.
Mhm.
He says that's what they're up
dearly
against.
deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
He is up there like rubbing salt anytime he
man.
can, and I
He
don't
is.
blame him, man. They
I
have
don't
been
either.
after him for years.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer.
Hell
Tonight,
yes.
I'm asking Congress to
Good.
pass that policy into permanent
That's-
law.
Yeah, like
Like,
should have been
I'm
done.
almost getting emotional over that. And that one's,
Yeah.
that should be a no-brainer. That should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed.
How can these people like? Oh man.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
That's awesome.
Look at that. That's great.
That is cool. So I'm assuming they're from Texas.
I guess. The big white hat probably gave it away.
That and the
Texas shirt.
Yeah.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what's her name. She looked pretty sour.
Yeah.
Well, I can't stand watching her in some of those
Since that
hearings.
time, DJ and
She
his
just
dad
gets
have
nasty
been
with
on a
people.
quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer actually a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
He's like, what do I got to do?
I know, right? That's pretty cool.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Man, he'd have probably done a better job in Butler than some. Wow. I'd love to hear what they're saying right now.
They're saying DJ.
No, I mean, but the kid was saying.
Doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%.
Promote Bobby now.
Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
Boy, it's going to be interesting to see what happens during the primaries. Remember when when he was running for president, his vice presidential candidate was Nicole Shanahan, and she put that warning out to those Congress members that she funded to put into office, Bernie Sanders being one of them, and said, if you don't vote in Bobby Kennedy, she's like, I will pay whatever it costs to get you primaried out.
Get you primaried out. Yeah, I remember.
And anyway, so it's going to be interesting because they all voted against him.
As an example,
I know.
Not long ago, and
which is disturbing because when you think about it,
1 in 10.
On one side, they were like, "Oh, good," but then on the other side, you're like, "Really? It just takes enough money." And then you just, that's what's sad about the system. It's like, just if you got enough money, you'll get anybody in or out.
We're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter
incredible.
to use a new name.
You'd be
and
surprised.
pronouns. They,
You would be
them
surprised.
pronoun, actually.
This isn't like a
All without telling
one-off.
January
No,
that
I know
she was
it's
here
not.
tonight
It's
and is
so
now a
bothersome.
courageous
Yeah.
I mean,
against this
I'm
form
so
of
glad I don't
child
have kids in
abuse.
there
January,
dealing with
thank
this.
you.
So glad.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't know how I'd handle that. Not well.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Shasta says, you can't tell me that we have all this AI and advanced technology and don't have a cure for cancer.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also
I don't believe
signed an
that for a
order
second.
I don't either. It's all a money
funding
game with
any
pharmaceutical
institution
companies.
that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
This is another one. I can't believe that's been allowed to happen.
And now I want
I know.
Congress to
Kids
pass
being
a
taken
bill
from parents
permanently
and then
banning
moved to other states so they can
criminalizing
transition them.
sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
I'm glad he's calling it out.
I am too.
This is just insane.
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you. Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better?
Show the other side of the room.
I know. I want to see them.
Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations.
Boy, he went in there and started cleaning house right
didn't
away.
he? Yeah.
And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago. where
All
the
right,
results
Shasta.
were exactly the opposite. We
100%.
couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country and they love being in our military again.
Are we being
it's a
rated,
great
Cole?
thing, and thank you very much. Great job.
No. That wasn't a gunshot.
You guys shut my truck off.
We're joined tonight
Oh,
by a young man.
Bernie
Jason
looked like he was
Harden,
actually
who
dying right
knows
there.
The weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest
Sorry.
dream is to attend
checking
the
your battery.
U.S.
I can't.
Military Academy at West Point.
Couldn't see it.
That should be good.
Okay. I was looking for I could actually go grab a cord and plug it in, I think, to that adapter, but yeah. So this kid's going to West Point.
Yeah. You know something about that.
A little something.
Yes, you
Jason,
do.
That's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Oh, he didn't know?
Hadn't told him yet.
That's cool.
You got to figure, hey, if I'm getting invited to this thing, I better get in.
Yeah,
like
right?
that'll be embarrassing. All the other guys at the school are going to be like, "You got told by the president."
The president that you're going to West Point. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Bring him back the Reagan era.
Yeah, that should have been done.
Yep.
We finance domes, we finance that for Israel.
Yeah.
They had they had a.
The technology, it's incredible, actually.
I don't know how
And other places they have
big
it.
and technical
Israel
it
has
was. My son was over at Bagram Airfield. And
places
you'd
have
be on the phone with him and
and
hear
the United States should
hear
have it
those
too.
things shooting down rockets and
right.
things. Yeah.
They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
I think I saw Pete Hegseth talking about that.
Yeah.
About how many
And
ships
for that purpose, I am announcing tonight
China
that
can
we
roll
will
out.
create a new
and, like,
Office of Shipbuilding
we can
in the
barely-
White House and offer
we can
special
barely get
tax
out a
incentives to bring
fraction
this
of what
industry home to
China can
America,
just
where it
pump
belongs.
out.
We used to make
Massive
so
ships,
many
ships.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't
It was
make them anymore
incredible
very much,
statistics.
but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national
And-
security, my administration
all-
will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Boom, he just stated it.
Yep. We're gonna get it back.
What he was saying was also that all the ships in China have to
Yesterday, a
meet
large American company announced they
Navy
are
specs
buying
Mhm.
both
so that
ports
every ship can be
around the
converted if it
Panama
Oh,
needs to
even
be.
commercial ships.
Yes.
Lots of
Really?
other things having to
That's
do
cool.
with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
I wonder what the timeline on that is. I hope he gives us a timeline.
I'm sure it'll happen pretty quickly.
He is not messing around, man. He is just executing.
We have
Executing.
Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco.
Good luck, Marco.
Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes, and I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you.
The few
Is he
interviews that
talking about Fetterman?
He's doing
oh, he's talking
a
about
good job.
Rubio here.
Oh.
Well,
Well,
the
the
few
vote.
that did vote for him. There were a few. There was like
Yeah.
5 or 6, I think. But I've actually been pretty
And
impressed
I
with him
also
in
have
some
a
of his
message
interviews. Like
tonight
he has
for the
been
incredible people of Greenland.
really solid.
Yeah. What are we doing with
We
Greenland?
strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security. And we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
They're gonna have a field day on
We'll
that.
keep you safe.
They're gonna be
We
like,
will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before.
you'll see it in the news
Very
that
small
Trump threatened to
Yeah.
nuke Denmark
Very, very
Yeah.
over
large
Greenland.
piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity. And he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
That's cool. There's one of your surprises.
Yeah. Drag him right in there.
Of course, the left isn't even. Nope. There's a few people clapping. Nope. Never
Oh,
mind.
they're on their phones.
Yeah. Why are you even there?
And I want
What's
to
the
thank
point?
especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people.
I love when he goes
spoke
off the
to many of
teleprompter.
the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations.
Who's that guy? Do you know?
The Abraham
don't.
Accords.
I say drag that guy right in there. Not that guy. The guy they captured.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching Vikings too much.
It's a great show.
Oh my gosh. They would just bring somebody in and just deal with them right there in front of the crowd.
And now
Yeah.
we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine.
Now let's get
Millions
to
of
it.
Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Oh, now they'll clap. Money laundering.
Right.
We've just supported money laundering.
Yep.
And the deaths of Ukrainians that didn't need to die.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Oh my gosh. And he's like, she says, you bet. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
2,000 people are being killed every
That's
single week.
incredible.
More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans, but I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas.
Yep. They've
than
been
they have
funding both
spent on
sides.
Yes, they
defending
have.
Ukraine by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received.
How can they disagree with that? Like, how can they? It's just like, why wouldn't they want Europe to also, if we're going to pay, why shouldn't Europe have to also pay their half?
Nobody wants peace more than the Ukraine.
Not even half. We shouldn't be paying half.
My team and I
We should be paying one,
President Trump's
20th.
strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Putin just got interviewed and said, he was just like, I watched it today, he's like, yeah, Zelensky, he doesn't want peace to happen because as soon as that happens,
He loses his money.
he has to have an election.
Yeah.
And his
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
closest opponent or something is leading him by 50 points in the polls.
Really?
And so,
It's
yeah,
time to stop
he's
this
out.
madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was
And then
detained in
Zelensky starts
Russia
saying,
and
kids are going to have to
seized in a
start sending their
penal
sons and
colony.
daughters. And he's like, and they're all, they're going to die. He says, because of NATO,
barely lifted
blah, blah,
a
blah, blah,
finger
blah.
to help him. They
Just
knew he
like,
was
oh,
innocent, but
dude.
they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
I saw that. Did you see that when he
Yeah.
came back that night? They stayed up late at the White House waiting for him to get there.
Yep.
It was wild. What a campaign promise to his
I know.
mom.
Trump's come through on a majority of his campaign stuff
Yeah,
so far.
it's incredible.
It is.
Oh boy, Adam Schiff.
I can't stand that
Let's
guy.
get him fitted for Prison Orange.
Yep.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years.
Wow.
I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I
Oh my
met
gosh.
his beautiful mom.
I mean, just think if he hadn't have turned his head,
Onto
that guy would
stage.
still be sitting in Russia.
And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch.
And we don't hear anything about that guy.
Some
Not anymore.
were not
Nothing.
so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. Two others, very fine people, were also
As a husband and a
seriously
father,
hit.
that's the way you want to go out.
Absolutely.
But thankfully, with the help of two great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
I wonder if we're going to get to the bottom of all that. I mean, he's got to. I would imagine
hope so.
Kash Patel has to be on it.
Yeah.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his three beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you.
The one in the middle, I was wondering what are her personal feelings about Trump, because, I mean, obviously she's not here for good reasons, you know, but I mean, she stood right up and she's clapping for him over that. And I was thinking, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I was just looking at her like, boy, she looks
Lexington and
pissed. And
Concord,
I know she's pissed because
Gettysburg and Normandy,
she lost her father,
the
but
warriors who
I
crossed
was
the
thinking,
Delaware,
I wonder how she feels
the
about Trump.
trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the
He's
shoulders of
building to
these
something big.
pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood.
We're about to
on
build something
fields of
big, I
battle
think.
and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom.
What are we about to
Now
build?
it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country.
I'm ready to
This
get
will
on a
be
welder.
our
What are we
greatest
building?
era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher. And we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
That's what I'm talking about.
Elon's over there.
Yeah,
Yes.
where's the Elon cam? Go to the Elon cam.
Yeah.
I mean, he's saying that he's going to get on a rocket here at some point.
Elon?
Yeah. Yeah.
And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand
He's catching rockets
and
with
we will
chopsticks.
fight
I saw somebody
for
say
the
that.
country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
How can you not be fired up? I mean, it's like you're proud. You should be proud tonight.
If you've been on a corrupt gravy train, though,
Right.
you can. I would imagine that's why there's some sad faces in that crowd.
Yeah.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. 2 hours on the dot. He did
Wow.
good. Great.
It went by
speech.
fast, though.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean,
It was a good one.
Yeah, he stayed on point. He didn't go off script and get onto like a tangent, like he can.
Yeah.
So I think he did well.
No, he did awesome.
So,
And he just, like I said, at the end there, it was a big buildup, and he's ending it on a big positive note.
Yeah.
78 years old. Incredible energy.
compared to what we had the last 4 years.
I know, it's just such a contrast.
I know.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, the GoPro cam. The presidential GoPro.
Nice.
Secret Service chest cam.
Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. Great on. Thank you.
All right. Hold down the fort for just a second.
Holding the fort. I do love this behind the scene footage stuff. I like seeing how he does. I know he's on camera. He knows he's on camera, but I feel like he doesn't care. He's going to be who he is at any given moment. He doesn't put on airs. Oof.
Thank you again.
Meeting up with all the Supreme Court people.
So good. Yeah, it's good. So good, sir. The best. Terrific, Mr. Really good. It's really bad.
Everybody seems pumped. I'm pumped. I think I'm going to go outside and take a lap.
Thanks again, Mr. President.
Thanks for the phone call last night, too.
Oh, what's he calling her for last night, huh? We need the lowdown on that. And is she really hooking up with Kid Rock?
I'm not going to get it. Sorry.
Thank Thank you, everybody. Great speeches.
Lauren Boebert.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Did you see that? That I don't know if it's rumor or what, but
Kid Rock and who?
Representative Lauren Boebert or whatever her name is.
Oh, I don't know.
They had some party at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
And there was video of she was sure cozying up to Kid Rock, and he seemed pretty happy to be talking to her. And then I saw like 3 days later that somebody posted on X that Kid Rock and his girlfriend had broken up
Yeah.
over the Lauren Boebert incident
Geez.
because they had also spent some alone time somewhere, apparently. I don't know.
I could see it happening. I mean,
No doubt.
you know,
Not denying it.
no. Dude, that was a really good. I mean, that had to be the State of the Union.
Did you go out and take a lap? Is that what you did? I'm ready to go take a lap. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I did a couple of
A little
fist pumps in
victory
the air.
lap.
Yeah.
We'll just run around the block.
So,
Doing a lot of woo.
yeah.
Waking up the neighbors.
You know, the shitty thing is he's going to come up against so much opposition.
Oh,
Like you said, Trump derangement syndrome. The left is just going to vote against anything that this administration wants, whether it's good or not.
yeah. And now they have EDS, Elon derangement syndrome. So they're all after him. He used to be the darling of the left.
Yeah.
And now they're just nuts about everything. And it is. I believe it's because they are cutting into their game. And they can't stand it.
I know.
She's wearing a Trump was right about everything hat.
Did you see that? He gave a bunch of those out to the media or something like that when they were in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, you won't take one. He's like, but he said something about that guy.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you for mentioning God needs to help us. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Holy cow, he's got a lot of energy to go talk to all these people and
I
shake
know.
their hands. Stressing me out right now.
It's
You really triggered those people.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the beneficial ownership ban this week.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for mentioning farmers.
Well, we love
Everybody's like, thanks for mentioning this. Thanks for mentioning that.
I know.
You earned this night.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, he did.
What time?
Worked your ass off for it.
Man, can't even imagine the stress he's been under for years.
I did indeed. You better believe it. Good endorsement.
President, home run.
Thank you.
Great job.
You killed it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, everybody.
You did great.
Thank you. Good
I
job.
mean,
Now he'll probably just go get on a plane and fly and like get up in the morning and play golf in Florida.
maybe.
Thank you. Yes,
Incredible.
thank you.
What's refreshing is that
Love you, Mr. President.
the dude loves this country.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that he
We've never met.
legitimately loves the United States of America.
He benefits nothing.
No, I mean,
Personally.
look what he's gone through personally.
Oh, I saw a thing where they break down the net worth of all these guys who've been president, and he's the only one. There was, I think, one other like years and years ago, but in any recent history, I mean, even Obama went in with like less than $1 million net worth and
Right.
came out like, $8 or $14 million, and that's grown since then. He's the only one whose net worth has gone down.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he does not
He
benefit
doesn't
at
need
all
it.
from being president of the United States.
now what a sacrifice.
And I mean, there's things that he does that I don't agree with, which I think that would be, even if you're a Democrat and there's Democratic presidents, there's things that you're not going to agree with what he does. I think that's standard. But
Can we name one? I can name one.
name one.
Red flag laws.
Okay.
He signed them.
I know he did.
And so that one, I'm like, that's like out of control. Like that one, that was a bogus one, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, so there's people that just abuse that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
So anyway, I wasn't happy with the red flag laws. And then, but that's the only one I can think of right now. It comes off to mind. You got any other ones?
No,
in
that
there?
was the one that was the one that I was gonna mention.
Yeah, that one is like,
Who's this?
And
I wanna-
Representative Virginia Fox of North Carolina is gaveling the House out of session as the president has left the House.
We're going to get the
chamber.
Democratic response. Are we sticking around for that?
Democrats en
I don't
masse
know.
Walked out ahead
Get
of him,
angry and just
the people that he was greeting on
And
the
then
way
like
out
deflate this high we're on.
Yeah.
Republican members who were there. They are in the
I mean, I will
218
I will
Republicans,
probably watch it later.
215
I mean, because I try to
Democrats.
watch both
250
sides
seats.
I do too.
to see, because I want to be well
Republican-held
informed and
seats.
I do too.
you know what we're going on. But I don't know if we want to.
Appointments,
I kind of like
to
riding
the
this high
White
we're on
House,
right now.
and
I do
Matt
too.
Gaetz's seat is
Well,
the
let's
other
cut
one
that.
is
Wait,
still open.
I've got it.
Special election.
Bam! Look at that.
There
I
you
just
go.
paused that. I was in
Yeah.
control of that.
Well,
all along.
I'm glad we were able to get my phone to work on that. So with
I
our
know.
technical difficulties.
Oh
So-
man, we were throwing it together there at the
Yeah.
last second.
For
My
not being
apologies.
in here for almost a month and a half though.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Zach and I were talking about that earlier. We were just like, oh, we get like I used to know how to do all this, and we get away from it for a few weeks, and then you're like, oh, where's these settings? Where's this? And
Yeah. But
anyway,
I will say, even locally, the few times that we've been out and about, people are like, "Hey, why aren't you guys on the? Where's your lives? Where's the
that's awesome.
where's the podcast episodes?"
That makes
So,
me feel good. I
yeah.
don't get out and see anybody hardly ever. So, no, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it.
have a
Have a
scotch.
scotch.
I got to work in the morning, or I probably would, but we'll celebrate this weekend for sure.
Yeah. And Chris did bring up a good point earlier. We just didn't read it off, but so much of this, it's just returning to normal, but it's painted as extreme.
Yeah.
And it's just wild. It's kind of weird to be at an age too where you can remember back like different decades and you're like, oh, it wasn't like this back then, or was, anyway, every now and then I tell these kids, I'm just like, I guess I'm now that old guy who can tell you this, but it wasn't like this past this time, or back then it wasn't like this. And like it's like they're rewriting history now. Anyway, so it does feel like a return to normal.
Thanks, Chris. He's referencing us not being on the lives for a while. Going through divorce, Milo was out. Cut cigarette. At least my pictures brought a little bit of joy to Chris.
Ah, nice.
So,
Milo went out, cut cigarettes. What does that mean? It's like an auto spell thing or something.
Probably. So, but we are planning on doing, getting back in the groove. With
Yes. Yeah, we are.
This. So,
yes, we are.
I know
it's been a transition for 2025 already. That's a long story, but it's just like the year got kicked off, and then it's the weather has been a thing,
dude. And no, it never made any attention in the media whatsoever about what Montana went through for 10, 12 days there.
And why that was such a factor for me, I'll be honest, was like normally most years I'm like, well, whatever, I didn't get it plowed or whatever, but we've got our house listed. We'd have showings. I had a showing the day after Christmas. I had a showing that supposedly was supposed to show up today. They at 1:30 and at 1 o'clock. Yeah, they bailed because once the guy got to the end of the pavement, he was like, "My wife's not coming this far."
Really?
Yeah. Like,
so they got to the top of Countryman Creek Road.
Yeah, just where you climb that steep part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there, and then turned around, and the real estate agent called my real estate agent and was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just got back into town yesterday. What's
I know.
Today? What's today?
Today's the 4th.
When did I get back into town? 2 days ago. So we got back on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, because you texted me Sunday.
Right. And then yesterday they were like, we have a showing tomorrow at 1:30. We were like, holy mackerel. All right.
Yeah.
And the weather we had like when we left, there was still 2.5 feet of snow, and we come back and there's no snow.
I know. It like disappeared like in 3 days. All this snow.
Incredible.
So like, 2 days before I was up shoveling snow off my roof because we had so much on and I knew it was going to melt. And we already had a couple of places where like it kind of froze up because it was so cold. And when it would warm up, it would drip through one of the windows. And I'm like, crap, So I'm up on the roof shoveling 3 feet of snow off of it.
Oh,
and then
man.
3 days later, it's all gone.
My roof vents kept plugging up.
Yeah.
Did you have any of that problem?
No, I didn't have any of that. But like I said, it would there was so much buildup. And my house is so old that you know, it could probably use some, we're going to try to spray some insulation in the attic over the summer, but it would freeze where my downspouts and stuff were. And then it
Okay.
would build up on the roof.
Yeah.
When it would melt, it would go through like one of the windows or something like that on that north side of the house that never, you know, didn't get the sun, so it wouldn't melt near as quick. But
Yeah.
so there was that. And then at work, super busy for those
Oh, I
couple of
bet.
weeks with all the crashes and the road being closed. I mean,
I can't even
we
imagine.
rarely close the interstate. It was closed a lot in the last couple of weeks or last month. You
Man,
know?
I almost missed okay, so not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, I was trying to fly out of Bozeman,
Mhm.
and we left here at like 1:30. We didn't even need to really leave the house till 2. Our flight left around just after 6 p.m. And so we're like, okay, as long as we're there by 4, we'll be good. And we left the house at 1:30.
Yeah.
And right after we left the house at 1:30, apparently a bunch of stuff blew over by Livingston and they shut the interstate down. We got to Big Timber and sat there, like they shut the whole interstate down and the frontage road. And we're sitting in Big Timber because of the wind and
Yeah.
because they were trying to pick up trucks and stuff.
That are blowing over.
Yeah, they're blowing over. And I was like, we're going to miss this flight. We sat there, we were like, do we take the cut? Do we go up to Harleton and go all the way around? It's 2 hours and 45 minutes to dump into Bozeman. Once we head that way, they'll open this up.
Yep.
And it's kind of iffy on what the roads are going to be like when we go that way. So,
And they were closed too.
Were they?
Yeah. So that road going to Hartlow was closed.
Because we saw cars taking that route.
Yeah, they ended up closing that, and then they ended up closing the road at Four Corners.
So
too.
we were sitting there at
Yeah.
the fort, and we were just like, I think we gambled wrong. And at first we should have just ran for Harleton.
Yeah.
And then and I was like, well, if they open, and there was nobody giving us any, you know, projections of when it would open. So we were sitting there, and I'm like, well, I think we're driving to Vegas tonight. So I started like checking fluids and balancing out the air in my tires and everything. And we thought, well, if they don't open it by 4, then we just won't make our flight.
Yeah.
And I was like, crap. Well, so it was like 4:06. I was like, whatever. I'm gonna go inside. I have my phone on me. I'm gonna use a restroom and get ready to sit here longer and then drive to Vegas all night. And April starts banging on the windshield as I'm walking away. She's like, it's open. And they just lift the bar. There was a truck starting to go. And then all of a sudden it was just this scramble out of this place.
Yeah.
I was at the head of the pack. Man, we were flying.
Yeah. So that was the same week. So the day before I left and spent 3 days in Yellowstone, and they had shut the road down at Livingston on that Saturday morning. And I was able to drive through town to go to Yellowstone. But then as soon as I got to like Paradise Valley, no more wind.
That's so weird.
But like and it was hard to drive.
They don't normally shut down the interstate between Big Timber and Livingston. You know, you got to take the little drive through town and Livingston.
They'll shut it down when the wind's blowing through the canyon there. But yeah, they don't shut the whole interstate down.
So we barely made our flight. We got I was driving at a high rate of fuel consumption. We'll just say that. So we get there and I drop her off and I'm taking the truck out to long-term parking. I'm running back. I mean, anyway, we make our flight. And then apparently that evening then they shut it down again.
They did.
And then they shut it down again the next day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this?
I mean, I wasn't upset because I spent 3 days in Yellowstone National Park taking pictures and videoing, and I mean, a good break for me. But yeah, if people wanted to go anywhere that weekend, and there was basketball tournaments and wrestling tournaments that weekend. So I mean, it was a crazy week.
Seems like the interstate has just been shut down a lot this year.
Yeah. Well, we've had some weird
We've
weather.
had some doozies.
And we talked about, I remember I was watching a podcast trying to make some shorts, and we were talking about, we haven't had any snow.
Yeah.
And I think it was a December podcast.
Oh man, it was in the 50s all the way up through to New Year's.
Yeah.
50s and 60s.
And then we got dumped on.
Man, it all just came at one time.
So, and we'll probably have another big storm, I'm guessing, here sometime in March.
Zach and I were teaming on the snow plowing out there pretty heavy. We got to plow at our place. I plow at my parents' place across. I watch their place for them while they're out of town for the winter. And then the deck is huge. And I was trying to make it so like, those winters I've never plowed the deck.
Yeah.
But just because we'd have showings or whatever, I was like, I got to plow everything, make it all look good.
Yeah, and then Shasta just had to remind me during all that.
Oh, the busted water
We had
pipe.
a busted water pipe, and then
No hot water for 2 weeks. What did you do?
Well, I mean, I went to the gym and showered. We went to Shasta's work at the youth center and showered. But
Oh,
and the
man.
problem was,
I didn't know about all that.
So we were trying to fix the hot water heater, and the parts that we were going in and replacing it with still wouldn't fix it. Well, then we had somebody finally come look at it, and they said we believe this is wrong. And then my wife, because I'm just one of those, will like just take a wrench to it and rip the whole thing out. And she's like, well, let me look and see if it's still under warranty. And it was.
Genius.
So we were able to get it all the parts that we needed under warranty, but because it was warranted, we couldn't replace it. It had to be done by a plumber. We'll try to get you know what it's like to try to get a plumber around this area,
even in good weather.
So we had to wait an extra 10 days. I think it was like 8 or 10 days to get a plumber out of Billings to come down and replace these parts. And
wow.
We have hot water again.
That's incredible.
You know?
And all of a sudden when you had hot water, weren't you just like, oh, I'm so thankful for hot water?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't. It was like, I live with all women. I mean, I have 3 daughters.
And you have more reason to be thankful for hot water.
You know, for me, it was like a no big deal to go to the gym and take a shower or, you know, drive, whatever. But yeah, they were pretty thankful for it. And I was like, guys, it's like we're camping. I don't know what you guys are all upset about. I mean, nobody complains when we're camping, but
oh man,
it was an interesting couple of weeks.
Simple thing like hot water,
you know, especially when it's like, you know, what do we have, like 26, 28 below zero for like a week straight?
Yeah, it was something crazy. April and I, we camped out in it one night.
Really?
Yeah. So I have a big, not huge, but a big wall tent with a wood burning stove. And I was like, hey, we're downsizing. We should sell this thing. And I was like, let's go put it up. And there's some cold weather coming and snow and stuff.
You had a wall tent.
Yeah. So I put it up and put the stove up inside of it, and we spent the night in it, and it got down below zero, and it was cold.
As long as the fire's going in a wall tent, though, you're cozy.
Yeah, but then it would go down.
Yeah.
And
I know.
So anyway, I did have like one of those big buddy propane heaters too, and I just had it on low at first, but then like once that fire goes down, I mean, you don't retain any heat. No. But I mean for being below zero, I mean, we did pretty good.
Yeah.
And we had that heater going, and it was fun. It was just kind of like, I'd never done that, never done anything, never that kind of cold weather camping. So anyway, I was going to tell you about that too. I've been waiting to catch up with you and tell you about it. I got pictures and video.
And we do that all the time during hunting season and stuff. And we've had some hunting seasons where it's, you know, I think we went elk hunting years ago, and the warmest it got the 10 days we were elk hunting was 12 above during the day. And we had a cook tent and a sleep. And then what do you want to do in the morning? And when you're hunting in the morning, you want coffee. You know, 3:30 in the morning when you're waking up, you want coffee. So somebody like my dad slept in the cook tent right next to the fire. Every few hours, you just wake up, reach in, put another log in, and And then so another thing that you do though when it's that cold is you get a chunk of coal, and you can throw it in the fire, and that stuff that'll burn all night. And
man,
you know, but we've been in wall tents when it's 30 below, and you know, as long as you keep the fire going, you're fine. But then I get to thinking about like mountain men.
Oh man, I know. I thought about that too. I did.
Dude.
I was sitting there and I was just like, I was telling April, I'm like, man, makes you have an appreciation for back in the day when they're in teepees up and down through here. And, that's incredible. Yeah.
Or like, I know Shelby was just in Alaska. Not too long ago.
Right.
Can you imagine living up there when it's like that? And if you were in a wall tent back during the gold rush days?
Oh man. And we were snug in there, like we're in this little meadow, and we were blocked by trees and everything, but so you could hear some of the wind out there, but it stayed pretty dang snug. And it's got like a vestibule on the front of it, like you could park a big old 4-wheeler in there. I have used it where we've set up like a camp chef, like propane burners in there to cook in there and stuff. But
I didn't know you had a wall tent.
Yeah.
Did you sell it?
No, I haven't even posted it.
You and I are gonna have a discussion.
All right.
So maybe Shelby will have that discussion with you too. Shelby and I actually got together the other night and reminisced about a bunch of hunting and stuff.
Oh, nice.
It was a good chat.
There's probably a podcast episode.
Yeah, I think we need to have him in here.
I know.
I want to have him come in and talk about his Alaska experience.
Yeah, we'll have to hear about that.
Yeah, and then I've had like 3 or 4 people that want to come on and do a podcast. So
Let's do it.
We
Let's
get
them
rolling on
scheduled.
things. Okay, cool. And I know, like I said,
Back
the
for a
lives.
bit.
Yeah,
Not like I have anywhere to go.
not yet.
No.
So, and then we have to get it all dialed in. So when you are gone,
I know.
We're still
We're figuring
rocking
out all the
rolling.
bugs here so we can.
And then we need to do an episode about Tom LaForge.
Oh,
Dude,
I was thinking about that tonight.
I could not put that book down.
Wasn't that a good one?
Good Lord. Yes. It's probably one of the better books about looking into the lives of Crow Indians.
I think so too.
And
not that I have a lot of experience.
Well, I know, but when you read about them,
Yeah.
you're reading about it from the quote unquote white
Perspective.
the white perspective, the
Right.
white lens.
Right.
And I mean,
And even though Tom LaForge was a white guy, but he really he just took on that culture.
well, he did. And like, even when he went out to Seattle and married like his 3rd or 4th wife, whoever it was,
Yeah.
he's like, I can't do that. I can't do this white man life.
Yeah.
He had to go back. He left 2 daughters, a stepdaughter and a daughter that he had with the Marge or whatever.
And 2
her
sons
name was.
named Tom.
Yeah. Those were from his native wives though.
Yeah.
But he left all that to go back to live on the res when he was in his 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, so just like
such an interesting period of time of transformation that he witnessed.
Yeah. Did you notice? And I'm going to go on a tangent, dude. That's okay. Did you he was dogging Yellowstone Kelly in that?
Oh yeah.
He's like, and Yellowstone Kelly or Luther Kelly was, you could almost see him when he's telling this guy the story. He's like, he went to go tell the cavalry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Man,
know?
he was harsh on him.
But like the people that he interacted with, Yellowstone Kelly, William F. Cody, Jeremiah Johnson, Mitch Boyer, and the whole fact that he broke his collarbone hunting.
Yeah.
And he missed out on Battle of Little Bighorn.
Saved his life.
Saved his life.
And then him talking about Lieutenant James Bradley and talking about how in the March of the Montana column, because that book had now come out. And so he was able to.
Yeah, he was referencing.
He was talking about that book and saying, well, because he was there and he's like, well, Lieutenant Bradley, I know he was pretty hard on the Crow Scouts. He's like, but he just doesn't understand this and this and this. And that was super interesting to hear him explain that because Bradley was rough on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so interesting to see him kind of defend them a bit and say, well, he just doesn't understand the culture.
Yeah.
But
like,
good book.
Dude, I am
one of my favorites.
I think it is. Like, I've always been a huge fan of Jeremiah Johnson. I mean, I've grown up with him as like my idol as a mountain man, but reading some of these other autobiographies and, Tom LaForge, Yellowstone Kelly. I want to read Bill Hamilton's The 60 or my time on the plains. I'm going to dive into that one, probably starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
These guys just like, I don't want to say we Hollywoodized Jeremiah Johnson with the Robert Redford movie.
Right.
And I think it put this image in your mind of what a mountain man should have been or would have been. And it's not at all that. And so I was like, here I am over 40 years old now. And I'm like, man, these guys make Jeremiah Johnson look like, really.
So hardcore.
Yeah.
Man. Just the things they experienced. And I'm excited for you to dip into the Bill Hamilton book because it's called, if anybody's a history buff, My 60 Years on the Plains, Trading, Trapping, and Indian Fighting.
Yeah.
And he's another guy who just had a respect for all things. He was a man of his time for sure. But he's so interesting because he gosh, I just can't. I don't want to ruin it all for you and everything. I'll go off on another tangent.
Let's do that though shortly here, since Memoirs of a White Crow Indian is pretty fresh in our memories.
Yeah,
because we could talk about that.
I know we should bring Penny in. Actually, we should get Penny to read it soon, and so we're all fresh up on it.
I'll talk to her tomorrow. I'm going to be up there tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll talk to her.
Okay,
and tell her what we want to do, and she'll read it. She showed me her copy last week, and she's got sticky notes all over the place, and I'm gonna buy the book. I read it on my tablet, but I
bought the book from the museum, but I read it on my phone.
So I just I mean, and like I've been talking to the other history teachers in the schools about it, and they're like, "Who are you talking about?" Like they had no idea about that. I'm like, every Montana history class should read that book.
Yeah.
I mean, we cover the Battle of Little Bighorn,
especially in this county.
Yeah, we cover the Battle of Little Bighorn, and the Crow and Cheyenne, and how the Crow pretty much wrapped their arms around the whites,
right?
And the Cheyenne and the Sioux and the Piegan, they all we're like, no way, we're
not accepting
you or your way of life at all. And this juxtaposition between different native tribes, because of that, just super interesting.
One of my favorite parts in that story of his was probably 1873 when he was with a large group of Crow and Nez Perce.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had that last big battle between tribes, between them and the Sioux.
Was that over in the Priors?
It was over by, they were camped at Pompey's Pillar.
Okay. Oh, so this is the last one. This isn't the one where like the Sioux warrior would come up and a Crow warrior would come up and they would like posture and stuff like that and scream insults at each other. That one was in the Priors.
Yes,
this was after.
I'm not sure on the timeline on that. I know it was around I think it was only 3 years before the Little Bighorn. I think it was 1873. It could have been 1871, but I'm pretty sure it was 1873. Yeah. And it was like 2,000 Crow versus like 1,500 Sioux. Yeah. And it was a big, huge battle that Tom LaForge got to witness of American Indians standing off. This wasn't a white guy battle thing, like he got to see something that relatively few people got to see. What an amazing, cultural, I don't know if that's the right word, but what an interesting thing to witness. Yeah. And like, that was kind of near the end of everybody's way of life was changing so drastically after that point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, we could go another 2 hours.
I know we should wrap up here.
I know. So, but we will do that soon for sure. The Tom LaForge book.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So it'll be maybe we can just do it on a Gaze on the Beartooth
episode
for sure. That we didn't really plan on doing, but
we'll do it.
We'll do it because
I got to get all the rest of those ones out.
Yeah.
So all right, well, cool. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us here to see our big fat reaction to Trump's address. That was fun.
We enjoyed it. Good to be back in the studio.
Yes. Yes, I agree. We'll have to do this more.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Be safe.
Peace out, guys.
We'll see you again soon.